Hello students, today we will start with the topic transcription of chapter molecular basis of inheritance. So, what is transcription? The process of copying genetic information from one strand of the DNA into RNA is termed as transcription. The principle of complementarity governs the process except that adenosine now base pairs with uracil instead of thiamine as in replication. So unlike replication, only a single stranded fragment of DNA gets copied into RNA. Now next important topic is both strands are not copied during the transcription. Now what is the reason behind it? So if both the strands code for RNA, two different complementary RNA molecules and two different proteins would be formed. Hence, the genetic information transfer machinery would become complicated. Second reason is since the two RNA molecules produced would be complementary to each other, they would bind together to form a double-stranded RNA without carrying out translation. That means the process of transcription would become futile. Now this is a transcription unit. Now in this diagram you are seeing here the promoter region, there is the structural gene, and you are seeing here the terminator. Now the transcription unit of DNA contains three regions in the DNA. First, the promoter, it is the binding site for RNA polymerase for initiation of transcription. Second is the structural gene, it codes for enzyme or protein for structural functions. Third is the terminator, it is the region where transcription ends. Now the detail of transcription unit. So first, promoter, as already I have told you, it marks the beginning of transcription. RNA polymerase binding site located towards the 5'N or upstream region of the structural gene. Second is structural gene, it codes for the enzyme or protein for structural functions. Third is the terminator, it is the region where transcription ends. Now, the DNA dependent RNA polymerase helps in DNA replication by catalyzing the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5' to 3'. The DNA strand that has the polarity 3' to 5' acts as a template and is also referred to as a template strand. So the strand which does not get transcripted is called coding strand and has the polarity that is from 5' to 3' and its sequence is same as RNA formed. The promoter is located towards 5'N upstream of the structural gene of coding strands and provides the binding site for RNA polymerase. The sequence of DNA located towards the 3'N downstream of the coding strand where the process of transcription would stop is called terminator. Now the transcription unit and the gene. First, what is gene? The DNA sequence which codes for transfer RNA or ribosomal RNA molecule. Now what is cistron? Segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide. Now the structural genes are of two types. First is monocistronic, these are mostly found in eukaryotes. Second is polycistronic, mostly found in the prokaryotes. Now monocistronic genes have two parts. One is exon and other is intron. Now what are exons? These are coding sequences that form part of messenger RNA. Introns, non-expressible sequence of DNA, it do not form part of the messenger RNA. Now the process of transcription. So it is followed by 3 steps: initiation, elongation and termination. So first is initiation. RNA polymerase binds to the promoter and starts transcription. So the process is catalyzed by the DNA dependent RNA polymerase. It associates transiently with initiation factor to initiate the process, that is the sigma factor. Now elongation. RNA polymerase uses NTPs, that is nucleoside triphosphates, as a substrate to polymerize the new strand following the rule of complementarity. Now the third step is termination. Now on reaching the terminator region, the RNA polymerase associates with the terminator factor, that is Rho factor. So as a result of this, the nascent RNA falls off, so also the RNA polymerase. So this results in the termination of the process. Now first of all, we will do the transcription in prokaryotes. So in prokaryotes, the structural genes are polycistronic and continuous. In prokaryotes, there is a single DNA dependent RNA polymerase that catalyzes the transcription of all the 3 types of RNAs, that is mRNA, transfer RNA and ribosomal RNA. So RNA polymerase binds to the promoter and initiates the process along with certain initiation factors. So here is the process of transcription in prokaryotes. So the 3 steps, that is initiation, elongation and termination, is shown here. Now RNA polymerase binds to the promoter and initiates the process along with certain initiation factors. It uses ribonucleoside triphosphates, also called ribonucleotides, for polymerization on a DNA template following complementarity of bases. The enzyme facilitates the opening of the DNA helix and elongation continues. Once the RNA polymerase reaches the terminator, the RNA polymerase falls off and the nascent RNA separates. It is called termination of transcription and is facilitated by certain termination factors. In prokaryotes, the mRNA synthesized does not require any processing to become active, and both transcription and translation occur in the same cytosol. Translation can start much before the mRNA is fully transcribed. That is, transcription and translation can be coupled. Now, transcription in eukaryotes. So, it is also very important. So, transcription in eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, the structural genes are monocistronic, or we may call it split genes. So, they have coding sequences called exons that form part of mRNA and non-coding sequences called introns that do not form part of the messenger RNA and are removed during splicing. In eukaryotes, there are at least 3 different RNA polymerases in the nucleus apart from the RNA polymerase in the organelles. Now, it functions as follows. RNA polymerase 1 transcribes ribosomal RNAs. RNA polymerase 2 transcribes the precursors of mRNA, or we called as heterogeneous nuclear RNA. And RNA polymerase 3 catalyzes transcription of transfer RNA. The primary transcript contains both exons and introns, and it is subjected to a process called splicing. Now, in splicing, the introns are removed and the exons are joined in definite order to form messenger RNA. The heterogeneous nuclear RNA undergoes 2 additional processes called capping and tailing. In capping, methyl guanosine triphosphate is added to the 5' end of heterogeneous nuclear RNA, entailing adenylate residues about 200 to 300 are added at the 3' end of heterogeneous nuclear RNA. The fully processed heterogeneous nuclear RNA is called messenger RNA and is released from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Now here is a diagram which is showing all these processes. Now in this you are seeing the exons, introns, then you are seeing here the processes like splicing. In splicing, what you are observing here, the introns are being removed and only the exons are joined. Now both the processes capping and tailing, that is also taking place. Now this is the last you are seeing here the complete messenger RNA. Yes. Now next is genetic code. Now what is genetic code? Genetic code refers to the relationship between the sequence of nucleotides on messenger RNA and the sequence of amino acids in the polypeptide. It was George Gamow who suggested that the code must be made up of 3 bases in order to code for the 20 different amino acids with only 4 bases. This would generate 64 triplet codons. Hargobind Khurana could synthesize RNA molecules with definite combinations of bases, that is homopolymers and copolymers. Marshall Nirenberg made a cell-free system for protein synthesis that helped in deciphering the code. Then Shibiro Okowa discovered enzyme polynucleotide phosphorylase that could polymerize RNA with definite sequence in template independent manner. Now here is the table which is showing the genetic code. Now on the left side you are seeing here the UCAG. Then second letter is on the upper side and on the third side you are seeing also this UCAG. Now what is U, what is C, what is A, what is G? U is uracil, C is cytosine, A is adenine, G is guanine. Now here you are seeing the different amino acids. Now in the first you can see here U, that is phenylalanine. Then you have this UUA, leucine. Then you are seeing here AUG, that is methionine. Then in this table you are also seeing GUU, GUC, GUA, GUG, codes for valine. Now UCU, UCC, UCA, UCG, codes for serine. CCU, CCC, then CCA, CCG, codes for proline. So like that you are seeing the different amino acids. Now here you are seeing here the 3 stop codons. Yes, 3 stop codons are UAA, UAG, UGA. Yes, this is genetic code. Now what are the salient features of genetic code? The various salient features of genetic code are: first, the codons are triplet and there are 64 codons. 61 codons code for 20 amino acids and 3 codons, that is UAA, UAG, UGA, do not code for any amino acid but function as stop or termination codons. Second point, each codon codes for only one particular amino acid, and so the genetic code is unambiguous and specific. Third point, since some amino acids are coded by more than one codon, the genetic code is said to be degenerate. The codons are read in a contiguous manner, that is in a 5' to 3' direction, and have no punctuation marks. The genetic code is universal, that is, the codons code for the same amino acid in any organism be it a bacterium or a human being. 6th point, AUG has dual functions, that is, it codes for methionine and acting as initiation codon. Next very important topic is mutations. So what are mutations? Mutation is defined as the sudden inheritable change in the genetic material. It can be formed of the following types. The major types are, first is point mutation, then you have frame shift mutation, and then we have silent mutation. So first is point mutation. Now it is the mutation in a single base pair which is replaced by another base pair. You can give the example of sickle cell anemia. So point mutation in beta globin chain results in change of this glutamate to the valine. Then frame shift mutation, it is the change in the reading frame because of insertion or deletion of base pairs. Now what is insertion? It is the addition of one or more nucleotides in the DNA fragment. Insertion of 3 or its multiple bases do not change the reading frame but add a new amino acid. Deletion, it is the removal of one or more nucleotides from the DNA segment. Deletion of 3 or its multiple bases do not change the reading frame but remove one or more amino acids. Now third is silent mutation. If a base change in a codon does not alter the amino acid coded, the mutation is said to be silent mutation. Now here you are seeing the sickle cell anemia, in which the 6th position of this glutamic acid, it is there in the normal chain, but in the mutant chain you are seeing here the amino acid sequence which is having valine in place of glutamic acid. So this is what about the sickle cell anemia, and you are seeing here the normal RBCs, they are getting changed into the shape of a sickle. Now this is also showing this normal DNA and the addition. Here G is added and the sequence is changed, and if the sequence of this RNA base pairs changes, then you can say that automatically the different amino acids in the chain, they also get changed.